Hi everybody, my name's Mark Dennison. I work for the Irish Football Association. I coordinate the Fresh Start Through Sport programme, which I'll talk about later. And I'm also a coordinator for Stay Onside. And Stay Onside is a programme that works with young people and adults at risk of offending and those who are actually in the offending cycle. They may include people in prison as well. My background really goes back to I was a serving police officer for 30 years, and I was the operational lead for Reducing Offending in Partnership, which worked with a wide range of organisations to prevent young people from entering the criminal justice system, to work with those who were in offending, and to work with partners to provide rehabilitation to offenders as well. In that post, I came across the Irish Football Association. We had an event and they outlined some of the fantastic work they were doing through the Irish FA Foundation. And really for me, it opened my eyes about the possibilities of working in sport and providing a positive pathway for young people and adults who were either in an offending background, at risk of offending, or even within the community where the community required those sort of pathways to provide something very positive and make a difference to many young people. So about 4 years ago, we started Stay Onside. Stay Onside really was probably quite groundbreaking at that time. That was the first time we'd really entered a prison environment and started to develop programs in prison as well. And probably within the prison context, we would come across individuals from every single background. So traditionally within Northern Ireland, our traditional groups in Northern Ireland, and those from the BAME background as well. And we could see the difficulties that in particular they would maybe face, certainly within the prison environment, and also maybe quite a few of the guys and girls who we worked with were quite passionate about their sport, but maybe hadn't that opportunity to engage or do something that would really get them back into their favourite sport and make a big difference in their lives. About 3 years ago, I retired from PSNI and I took up a post with the Irish Football Association. I started off really about 2 days a week, and such was the success of the programs we were delivering and the impact we made. Those days gradually crept up until I'm now working full time for them. And really it was 3 years ago I first had a meeting with Andy George, who's the president of the Black Police Association now, national president. And Andy sat down with us. They had a vision through Kick-Off at 3, through Michael and Ashley. And it was really working with young people and making such a difference through football. And really, the whole concept of the program just appealed to me. It wasn't just a case of actually delivering a program just for the sake of it. Sometimes you'll have community partners come along, they'll ask us to deliver maybe a 4-week program. We'll go in the community, we'll deliver that program. Yes, it will make an impact with the young people there. But Kick-Off at 3 was different. And it felt different in that they really wanted to make a change in the lives of many young people. And also they wanted to change perceptions of traditional communities so that they had an understanding of the difficulties young men and women face from the BAME background, and really how to appreciate their journey as well and make them more inclusive in society, which is something that through Kick-Off at 3, certainly within Northern Ireland and the Irish Football Association, we were very, very passionate about, and something that we really wanted to get involved in. The first tournament was 3 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, and it was in Belfast. Funny thing about it was Andy had asked me, we'd met probably the week before. We arrived at the location in Belfast, and it was within a Loyalist community. So we were holding the Kick-Off at 3 tournament there. Michael and Ashley were over at the event. And so really we had a little bit of prior planning, but much to my surprise, there were about 80 to 90 young people who arrived in that area as far off from Dublin. And Garda Síochána also supported the programme. PSNI supported the programme, and obviously the Irish Football Association as well. So really, on a very hot day in May, we delivered our first tournament, and that was absolutely fantastic in that we had such a wide representation, and we had young kids there who were very, very skillful in playing football and really, really wanted to engage. We also had the difficulty, I suppose, in the perceptions of maybe a local community within Northern Ireland. And it was probably a surprise to me that so many kids from a BME background were there that day. And also they were embracing the local community, the local teams. Sport in itself is always competitive. So when you add other factors to it, when you have teams coming in from other areas, from other backgrounds, then of course there can be particular issues or potential particular problems as well. That wasn't the case really. We did have the local teams there fully welcomed everybody on board. It was tense in many ways when we reached the semi-final and final because it was the local team versus an East Timor team. And so in many respects, I suppose that's no different than a club going to play an away game in any football match or in any sport, because there's always that competitiveness there. But this probably reached maybe a new level. But the success of that programme and how it was delivered, the local team won the programme, won the tournament on that occasion in the first year. And I think from that point of view, it really gave us an opportunity to think a wee bit wider and to look at our overall delivery as well. So certainly over the next year, Andy and myself, Michael, Ashley, also the Rio Ferdinand Foundation as well, we had many conversations about how we could develop a strategy within Northern Ireland to help all communities through football. Using Kick-Off at 3, using Rio, and using our existing partnerships as well. And the IFA are very committed to providing football for all sections of the community in Northern Ireland. They have a great track record in doing that. But really for us, it's about every year it's setting another goal. So within our community relations strategy now, we have an aim, obviously, to enhance BAME engagement. So that's through participation, also coaches, employment within sport and within football as well. And really just, I suppose, going on a journey that's a very positive one for everybody. We continue to work probably in the first year on the back of the first programme. And we delivered the second programme in Belfast beside the National Football Stadium. Again, we'd had a fantastic turnout. We probably had a larger number then of local teams. And again, it became very competitive because the prize this time was going to London for the winners of the tournament. So again, I worked hard with Andy and his team to, and Michael, Ashley, to put on the event. And one thing that was probably quite different in this occasion is that the teams from our traditional communities in Northern Ireland had come out of their own communities more or less to a neutral venue. And I do remember it reaching the final stage. And again, I think we had an East Timor team versus another team in Northern Ireland. And one of the young lads from who was white approached me and said, "You do realise," he says, "we're one of only 2 white teams here. Everybody else is from, a different background." And that struck me because it changed the tables. It switched everything in that, for somebody from a BME background, the difficulties maybe they faced in trying to get involved in football and trying to get involved in sport. So it nearly flipped that in that the young guy acknowledged that, there's a difference here. And really then you measure that, for me, that's success in many ways, and that they're acknowledging that they are the minority and it makes them understand then potentially what the difficulties are and what that's like. Again, a very successful tournament. The winners went to the grand final in London. Andy took them over, and very, very successful program and tournament. Through the Irish FA, we were able to give each of the team members an IFA Northern Ireland tracksuit to wear going over. So they were representing Northern Ireland, but they were also representing the Irish Football Association as well. So we were very, very proud to do that and buy into that concept. And I suppose we had the idea was to put on a bigger tournament this year or last year. And in the 2020 tournament, again, we wanted to have regional heats. We wanted to have more teams involved in the final. We had our planning process in place. We actually had agreed on having a fan zone, foods from the different countries. So there was an appreciation of the different cultures as well. And then unfortunately, COVID struck. Everything had to just go into lockdown and change dramatically, really. So we kept putting back the events by a couple of months. And again, we just reached the stage where, right, okay, we're just going to have to plan for next year and go on. But probably that downtime gave us the opportunity then to look at the bigger picture, to look at, community relations wise, what we could actually do to enhance delivery. It gave us the opportunity to work a little closer with partners, the discussions with the Rio Ferdinand Foundation, with Kick-Off at 3, with our partners within Northern Ireland. And I suppose it gave us the opportunity to set the landscape for 2021 onwards. In that respect, we've also engaged with UEFA, with UEFA and with other football partners. It gave us the opportunity to apply for funding for programs which may assist with refugees, with BAME communities, and I suppose strengthen the delivery within Northern Ireland to those communities. So it has been successful in many ways. We're also privileged to have Katrina Lewis on board, who's the mum of Jamal Lewis, a Premier League footballer with Newcastle. And Katrina has been very passionate and a great asset to what we're trying to do in Northern Ireland as well through social responsibility. Not only to BME groups, but to all backgrounds as well. So, and when we have somebody of that profile as well, that helps deliver our message and our programs so much. So really, probably at this moment in time, we're at a stage, I suppose, where 2021 onwards will provide us with massive opportunities. What we want to do within the Irish Football Association as well is really, we have a number of areas that we deliver in through community relations, through women's football, disability section. So we have so much schools delivery. So from that point of view, again, it's looking at the overarching picture and delivery of all our programs, how they can connect better, how we can deliver more, and to more diverse communities as well. So from our point of view, I suppose it's that opportunity to do a refresh, to look at it, to engage with our partners, take a step back, and then when we start to deliver this year, I'm sure it'll be bigger and better than what we've done in the past. I'm also delivering on coordinating a new program called Fresh Start Through Sport. Fresh Start Through Sport is delivered, it's backed by the Department of Justice Northern Ireland, Police Service of Northern Ireland, and Department for Communities. So we actually deliver programs to young people 16 to 24 years of age in partnership with Ulster Rugby, Ulster GAA, and Belfast Giants Ice Hockey. So when we go into the designated Fresh Start areas, those are areas that may have influence of paramilitaries or organised criminals who are trying to, I suppose, bring young people into an environment that is not healthy, is certainly the journey we do not want them to take. And so from that point of view, in delivering the Fresh Start through sport, we really want to focus on those areas and make that difference to those young people. And again, as that focus as well, when we look at traditional communities, but our traditional communities have changed, the outlook, and so many cultures now as well. So we also have to be very, very mindful when we're working with young people, what it means to them and what success looks like as well. So really that's our overall delivery concept. That's where we are to date. I think it's been very, very successful so far. It continues to grow. We're not an organization who really sit back and just take things for granted. We want to prove the concept works. We really want, so committed in the work that we're doing with Andy George, kick off at 3, and the wider community as well. So, and I think we're really, really lucky to have those individuals to work with as partners, because the reach that they have out into the community, the credibility they have in the community as well, I think is absolutely fantastic. So from that point of view, for us, it's just like a breath of fresh air when we're actually starting to deliver stuff and when we're doing stuff. And really, I'd like to think that if we have a conversation in 12 months' time or 24 months' time, the evidence base in and around delivery will be so much more. We'll have achieved so much more. We'll have really got into those communities and got them to come out and actually be more inclusive as well with other football clubs. So there's a lot of work to do, and we believe we've got the right team to take that forward, the right team to make a difference to so many lives in Northern Ireland.